Hey everybody, this is Stuart with Wine on the Dime, and October is still Texas Wine Month, so let's get to another one. So today I'm going to be reviewing the 2021 Adega Vinho Rosé. It's 50% Grenache, 50% Tempranillo. It's 14.8% alcohol by volume. And I'm going to go ahead and read the back of the label because it doesn't give away any of the flavors or anything, but it does give a little bit more detail into how this wine is made. So, method Saunier of estate-grown Tempranillo, hand-harvested from fifth leaf vines, barrel fermented and cellared 5 months in neutral oak, and then the Texas High Plains Grenache, barrel fermented, cellared 5 months. Cheers. So I'm actually excited about this wine because I haven't had this one yet. I know that they came out with it. They didn't have it at the tasting room the last time I was there in a bottle. It was about to be bottled. So I'm really happy that I got my hands on a bottle of it. And the other thing about Adega Vinho is they use a lot of oak. Not that you use a lot of oak, but pretty much most of the wines that Michael uses have oak in them. If you actually want to kind of see an example of their portfolio, go ahead and take a look at the video up above here. That was whenever I actually went there and sat down with Michael. He was my winemaker. We just went through and basically tasted their entire portfolio on camera and had a great time. I mean, they mostly focus on Portuguese varietals, but they also have some stuff from the High Plains that are non-Portuguese, international varietals, stuff like that. You get some Spanish from time to time. So there's, like most Texas wineries, we have a really wide range of grapes that are used. And I'm excited to see how this comes out. So let's get to this wine. I got a little cork in there. So from a color standpoint, I'm gonna give you a pale pink orange, no artifacts, no cloudiness. All right, so on the nose. So, woo, so I'm definitely getting a little bit of that oak note in here, but I'm trying to process what I'm getting out of it. In the meantime, let me get to the primary. So from the primary standpoint, I'm getting strawberry, a touch of watermelon. There's a little bit of orange. There's a floral component though, I can't put my finger on it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's some sort of like white flower. I'm gonna have to say generic white flower because I can't break it down any further. And I'm also getting like a, kind of like a buttery coconut as well. Yeah, so those are the main things we're getting out of the nose. How does it taste? Let's find out. Wow, so this is a very kind of different rosé than what you typically have. So, and I'm gonna attribute part of this to the Saunier method with the bleeding off of when you kind of make red wines, you bleed it off a bit. It's a little bit more concentrated. There's actually a noticeable amount of tannin in here, not like a red wine tannin, but there's a good amount of tannin for a rosé. But I actually kind of expect that with the Saunier method because it's had time to actually be in contact with the skins and the seeds, and so it pulls out a little bit more. So while it does have a lot of big, bold primary fruit notes, it also has a slight bitterness in certain parts of it when you move it around, and that's most likely because of extracting some of those bitter oils that live within the grape seeds. Those tannins are also there. It's a light tannin. I mean, it's not heavy, but it's noticeable enough to where if you drink a lot of rosés that aren't made in this method, you're going to taste this and go like, whoa, something is off here. It's not off, it's the way that the wine is supposed to be. However though, the thing that's interesting is that barrel note that I was getting and sort of that creamy coconut is just as intense as the primary elements. And when I move it around in my mouth, certain parts are tasting that and certain parts are tasting the fruit. So when you have a sip, like for me, the fruit notes are really concentrated in the center of the tongue, and those barrel influences are on the side of my tongue. It's just a really interesting kind of perception on the palate whenever you're drinking it. In terms of body, medium body, alcohol taste medium, the acid is medium plus, the finish is a medium plus finish. This finish goes on for a really long time. And I have a feeling it's because of that acid and just the overall just crazy intensity that this palate has that really pushes it through. Yeah, so this is just, if you are someone who doesn't like rosé, but you're a big red wine fan, this is probably one of those wines that might actually get you into rosé a bit because this is a pretty deep rosé compared to what most people make. Anyway, we won't know how it rates till we get to the blick. So from a balance standpoint, full point, no complaints. Length, medium plus finish, 0.75. In terms of intensity, medium on the nose, pronounced on the palate, I'll go ahead and meet you in the middle, 0.75 again. And in terms of complexity, I am getting secondary elements. I'm getting it in spades with this wine. I am getting a reasonable amount of primary. I got a little bit of citrus, I got a little bit of floral notes, I got some fruit elements. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you full point because I wasn't actually expecting any tertiary with the 2021. So in the end, this is 3.5 points. This is extremely solidly very good. I can understand why Michael was so excited for me to try this wine the next time I came back in because they didn't have it out yet. And I totally understand why he wanted me to come back and try this because he knew it would be up my alley. I'm glad I did get a bottle of this because it's very good. And I recommend that if you stop by Adega Vinho that you also try this for yourself because there's a good chance if you're a red wine fan, you're gonna be taking at least one bottle of this home with you. Take a whole case. Anyway, this has been Stuart with Wine on the Dime. If you liked today's review, please like, subscribe, and comment. Have you had the 2021 Adega Vinho Rosé, the half estate, half Texas high plain? Be interested to know if you have, or if you have had any other wines, leave a comment below, and I'll see y'all again soon with another review from Wine on the Dime.